Do you ever feel like you've left it too late to start all of this audience building malarkey? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Julie Crefeld and this is the place to be for all things finding your people online. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 reasons you should be prioritizing audience building, even if you think you've left it too late. Because after all, you know that saying, right? The best time to start audience building was 5 years ago, but the second best time was today. No, I've never heard that either. Should we crack on with this? Let me ask you a question. How much time do you honestly spend on audience building each week? Put it in the comments and let me have a look. Because I think there's this massive myth that doing social media is audience building, and it's so not. Audience building is obviously a tactic that we use, it's a tool, but it's not the whole picture. And the other myth that I hear all the time is that the only reason to grow an audience is to find clients, and that's bullshit too. I think we use audience building not only for client acquisition, which is a big word, but also to find collaborators and cheerleaders and, you know, all the other juicy people that we kind of use in our kind of business world. So generally speaking, people seem to think that audience building comes in 2 flavors. 1, organic, and 2, paid for, right? I don't think that's true. I think there are 4 types of audience building activities that you could do in your business. Number 1 is kind of the splash and dash kind of style. I've just kind of made that up really. But that's the kind of one where you are using hope as a strategy and you're just posting stuff all over the internet, hoping that you'll attract enough people to come into your world. That's what I see the majority of people doing, if I'm being honest. Number 2 is the kind of more strategic, organic growth, the stuff that I teach my clients. Number 3 is the kind of audience sharing, and you see a lot of the kind of bigger players doing this where they pay to be on each other's stages and there's some kind of monetary exchange or monetary value of accessing each other's audiences, okay? We see that a lot with the big players. And then finally, we do have paid advertising, and that could be YouTube ads, could be Facebook ads, it could be, you know, all of that kind of juicy stuff. But the stuff that I'm really interested in is the strategic audience growth, right? And the reason that I love this thing is because once you've learned it, it doesn't matter which platform you're applying it to. And for me, this is about sustainable growth where your audience is earned rather than paid for. It's something I like to call strategic expansion, right? And this is about, over time, really dialing up the credibility, really dialing up the authority so that you're not just this flash in the pan that's come out of nowhere and people are like, who is this person? Because that's what happens when somebody who is relatively unknown throws money at Facebook ads. So, for the purpose of this video, I am going to be talking about that strategic expansion because that's the stuff that I enjoy talking about. So, 5 reasons you should be prioritizing your audience building now. Number 1. Social media is fickle and confusing. What do I mean by that? If you are on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Instagram, all of these other ones, TikTok, it will make your brain explode if you have to keep up to date with the best strategies and tactics and the algorithms and all of that stuff. It's exhausting. When you learn strategic, expansive audience building techniques, the algorithm changes don't matter as much. When you're growing your own audience, and ultimately that means getting people onto your email list, then that asset belongs to you. Number 2, quality over quantity. So often I hear people say, well, what's the point? My competitors have got more followers. Or what's the point? I've only got 20 people on my email list. And what happens is people's behaviors become about the vanity metrics. They become about, you know, more is more. When actually, it's about, for me, it's about starting off with a small but mighty tribe and learning how to activate those people. If you've got a group program, for example, and you only need 12 people on that program, if you loved on the people on your email list, you could fill that program with maybe less than 50 people on your list, that is. Whereas we have been told, oh, it's all about the kind of conversion rates, right? That's what the big guys say. You know, you're only going to get a 1 or 2% conversion. Not if you have a real loyal fan base. So this is where learning how to acquire those people makes sense, because in the long term, you will waste less time, money, and effort. Number 3 is about building a pipeline of potential clients before you actually need them. What often happens is a thing called submarine marketing. Now this is where most of the time you're below the radar, maybe posting occasionally on social media, and then all of a sudden you go into kind of launch mode, or you realize that you've got gaps in your diary, and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to ramp up my social media and be more visible. But people spot this a mile off. If you are consistently doing audience building activities every day, over time, when it gets to that time of launching, you are not this new person that they're like, oh my God, where's she been the last few months? So this is about not waiting until you've got time in your diary and you're like, I've got no more clients. It's not about waiting until you're ready to launch your group program. It's about drip, 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 drip. Number 4. Sorry to break this to you guys, but your competitors are already doing this. They don't have no secret sauce. They're just consistent and they're doing the graft, right? So stop thinking they have something magical that you don't. They're just applying these consistent things, every day, going and communicating, activating people to get onto their email list, having an email list. Number 5, your audience is your greatest asset, even when they're not buying from you. The ultimate goal of having an audience, it sometimes feels like it's about getting more clients, but when you see them as a resource beyond that, then you start to really see the benefit of growing your audience. Now, you can go out and communicate with your audience and kind of pick up on their language. What are the things they're struggling with right now? What do they need? What is the overtone of how people are feeling out there right now? When you grow your own audience, they also become your best cheerleaders. So even if they're not ready to buy right now, they like and they comment on your posts, they refer you, they talk about you behind your back. So can you afford to not be doing audience building right now? Okay, so you might have watched this video and thought, okay, Julie, I get it. I need to start growing my audience, but how? How do I do it? And how do I find the time, right? But here's the truth. When you learn really good engagement strategies, you don't actually have to post as often as you might think. So it starts with planning out your month. And that's why I've got a free engagement planner with 31 social media prompts. You don't even have to think about it, because isn't that the thing? Sometimes you get on your phone, or you get on your laptop and you're like, yep, I'm gonna do audience building. And then you're like, brain freeze, what am I gonna post? So I've done all the thinking for you. So head into the comments and download my free engagement planner and 31-day social media posts. I still use that piece of paper. I scribble it out every month. And I also use many of those prompts, right? So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, you've got to be committed to this. You've got to earmark, 15, 20 minutes a day to really working on those activities that bring new people into your audiences. There's no point in just communicating to the people that already know, like, and trust you, because those people will run out eventually. In my next video, I'm going to be showing you how I use these tactics to grow my audience on Clubhouse, and how in just 3 months, I welcomed 10,000 new people into my world. So thank you for watching this video. Do come back, or else I'll see you in a page, on a stage, in a room, or in a Zoom very soon.